Hey there. We're in Velia in southern Italy to gain insight into an ancient group of very special people. Well, we're in the ancient ruins of Velia, and I'm about to give you a tour of a very special temple. This temple is from the 3rd century, but it's on Faulkian ruins which date all the way back to 500 years BC or before. Kindra's going to lead us up the stairs into the actual temple.
And if you look into the centre, you can see where they think there was an altar originally. You can still see the remains there. They're also the bases of the columns around the 3 sides. And then are you leading us into the underground part? Well,
Certainly.
certainly beneath this level anyway.
So, if you look at the various inscriptions and archaeological finds around this site, a picture starts to come together which tells us the story of a very interesting group of people. These practitioners, who were here from the founding of the city and who had Parmenides as their original teacher, were priests of Apollo. They were priests with a specialist kind of knowledge. The title that they held, if we were to translate it from its ancient Greek into modern English, would probably be translated as healer, seer, or medicine man. Perhaps we could almost call them shamans. They practiced a form of meditation called incubation. And when perfected, they occupied the state of consciousness which perhaps could be seen as bordering meditation and sleep. Those who had perfected this art were called masters of the layer, because this practice often took place in caves or special rooms which were dark and secluded. They used this healing form of contemplative sleep to bring back solutions, to gain higher inspiration, and even guided patients in this practice to bring around healing. Now, this area that we're coming to, this actual room, is a very important site because it was actually here where many different archaeological finds have been discovered. In particular, a set of statue bases, and some of the statues which showed an unbroken lineage of these practitioners, along with their titles showing that they were followers of a particular sect of Apollo. Apollo, in his manifestation as master of sleep and healing. Sometimes a place can change you or bring around an understanding that no person, experience, or book learning ever can. And standing here right now, it's awe-inspiring to think that this temple may well have been built on top of the original temple where Parmenides originally lectured and taught this ancient art of enlightenment. So this is one of the busts which probably showed the last of the succession of this line of healing practitioners. This is the Porta Rosa, which isn't named after these beautiful red leaves here. It's actually named after the wife of the archaeologist that found it in the 60s.
This was originally built to connect two parts of the city, and we have this archway here, and then up ahead, which you should just be able to make out, is a doorway. So this was built to connect the parts of the city, and in fact, if I turn around and show you above, there is a walkway right on top to the Acropolis.
The whole structure dates back to sometime in the 4th century BC, and it was built by the Phocians, which are the original settlers here. You've probably seen some of my earlier videos which have polygonal walls, which are beautiful structures built without any need for concrete. The polygonal walls, which are a bit like the one here, are trademarks of these Phocians. The Phocians were a mysterious race who loved sailing and loved trade. They used to explore everywhere they could and had a basis both in modern day Turkey and on the banks of the Nile. When the Persians decided they were going to invade Phocia, their actual hometown, they fled and they settled here in Italy, bringing their spirituality with them. Their spirituality was very much like their own characteristics. So just like they used to like exploring and sailing into different realms, so too would they like to explore within themselves and to find things out directly.
As above, so below, indeed.
Indeed. Looking at this, it's amazing to think we're standing here and this is something which is over 2,300 years old, and it was found in the 60s.
Indeed, the local archaeologist was drawn to searching for something like this because in the local dialect there was a word for the area which meant narrow passage or opening. Incredible to think something so monumental could be hidden.
I wanted to show you this pathway which has been built by the ancients deliberately so that you don't slip. So each one of these stones alternate in depth to give you grip. I suppose a bit like modernly you can get special paint that you paint on things which is all grippy and rough. And does it work?
Well, I haven't slipped yet, so I presume so.
There we are. Experimental archaeology taking place here. This is the Asclepion at Velia. It's a healing temple which was known for its hydrotherapy. If we look at the temple, there'll be a section where water will be brought down from a spring in the mountains. And somewhere in here would be a walled off chamber or an underground chamber for healing meditation. Asclepians normally had a theatre nearby, which is what we're about to go in search of, so that people visiting could watch plays which allow them to come to terms with things and lead to psychological breakthrough. Okay, so two big discoveries here. We've found our polygons and we've found our theatre. So these polygonal dry stone walls were characteristic of the form of masonry that these Phocians originally practiced when they were back in Phocia in Turkey, what's modern day Turkey. So when you see this type of masonry, you know it's ancient and you know it's built by Kindra's ancestors, by the Phocians as they came and settled here. Up here we have the theatre, which is a bit too far from the Asclepion. As you can see, this theatre has been incorporated as part of the features of a far later set of buildings here, and it's been partly destroyed. So whether this was actually used in the same sense that I previously described by the priests at the Asclepion for healing plays, or whether this was for entertainment or for political talks, I don't know. We're standing on a tower over the ruins of what was the hometown of Parmenides. Many people have heard of Parmenides as a pre-Socratic philosopher who created logic. I believe that we can gain a lot more by reading his works as those of a meditation master, of someone who was the possessor of an ancient tradition that had been handed down to him. A tradition which in later videos I hope to be able to demonstrate has continued on and is still being practiced in the modern day.